You are now listening to PODCORN, episode 27, for October 2nd, 2013.
Giving you a PODCORN podcast through the air.
Through the air?
Through the air.
Through the airwaves.
I'm rhyming, but I think I did that once before. I think it's a repeat. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
I'm a one-trick pony.
Tough to come up with new material.
Yeah, so guess what, guys? 1 week. 1 week until Rocket Girl comes out.
You'll never match my freestyling as much as you try.
Whatevs. I don't care. I don't mind being not good at something.
So next Wednesday, the 9th? Is Wednesday?
Yes, Wednesday the 9th. The day before New York Comic Con.
Yeah, we're going to be at New York Comic Con in a big way. We'll close out with that, though, talk about it. But,
yeah.
You know, because a lot of people who listen aren't going to be there.
But
everyone who does listen going to be there. It's going to be a lot of good stuff. You're going to, people are going to be
awesome.
Yeah, we have like a million things on. We're in Artist Alley, and then a bunch of signings. So, and a panel.
Well, we'll get there soon.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like.
But between now and then, we're kind of like waiting for boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff to come.
Yeah.
To fulfill the Kickstarter. I already have like a lot of boxes of things that I can control. Right, like we have envelopes and Sharpies.
All the shipping supplies and all the address labels.
I'm trying to use this automate like the USPS, regular post office, like their automated software, and I got all the addresses in, and I'm actually going to send out some packages tomorrow for some other stuff and try to test to see if it all works. But, yeah, we did it last year with Halloween Eve. This is almost twice as big.
Really? I think it was like 960 and now it's like 1600, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is almost twice.
Yeah. So we shall see.
Yeah, no, it'll be hard, but it'll be easier. And I hear that we might be getting some help, so that'll be good.
Right, but yeah, we've got to get the books in from Image. And we got to get one of the prints in that everybody gets.
Yeah, the complimentary print.
Double-sided print, that's cool.
Yeah.
But thanks to everybody who was a Kickstarter backer.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, gosh, and it's finally going to happen, I'm so glad that you guys get to see what we've been working on. It's just, it's really, really good. And I hope you think so, too. If you do, I hope you'll spread the word, too. But just thanks for helping us get this started.
Yeah, and of course, if you don't have it on Kickstarter, next week, it'll be in comic shops.
Yeah.
So it's, it's from Image, so most shops will have it, but it never hurts to ask, hey, put one aside for me, right? Because then the store owners know that it's popular enough. They order a few more copies, helps us out,
Also, if you have backed us, please make sure very soon that you tell your retailer that you need issue 2.
Yeah.
Because that might be kind of like a confusing thing coming into issue 2.
Right, because they say, oh, number 1 didn't sell, but it's maybe because they got it through the Kickstarter.
Yeah, so just please be sure that, you let them know that you're interested in it.
Yeah, but it's big stuff. It's really good. I'm really happy with it.
Oh, yeah. It's like, I don't know. I just think people are going to like it, Otherwise, I guess we wouldn't do it, but...
Yeah, you can never tell with your own stuff, but it's really rock and roll.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Everyone seems to dig it. High concept people like, so... And
it's fun.
Yeah, so spread the word and get people ready for it,
Yes.
But talking about Kickstarter, like I said, getting ready to stuff a lot of envelopes, which is a big part of it, right? It's a big thing. It's a full-time job running the Kickstarter and fulfilling rewards.
Yeah.
But aside from the money, right, to rate, which is important to get it launched, it's good to interact with fans. It's good to be able to kind of test the waters and see if people want it.
Yeah.
And we had a good response, and people really like it. So.
I also, can I just go on a slight tangent? Like, I think it's really important sometimes that people work for something. Not that we're like, hey, you gotta work for us to give you a comic, but like this book, The Little Prince, I think a lot of people have read it. It's a classic children's book.
Right.
Like, one really big theme in it that it's kind of been one of my mantras for since then is that like when people learn to love things when they have to work for them. It's like kind of just something that happens. It's like a natural progression when they labor over something and try and, harbor it. That's what makes them love it so much. That's why Sandman is so great because you've been with them forever. And I think Kickstarter, it's like when people get involved, it's like then it's their baby too, you know?
I think that's true in a very real way. It's also, I mean, comics is still small enough that yeah, everyone who does read it is kind of involved, right? Because you need every reader and you need people to be into it and excited about it, and hopefully, like I said, talking about it and promoting it. But you're right, but it's amplified in Kickstarter. That you know, literally their enthusiasm as well as their financial support is
Yeah.
kind of making it happen. But to do Rocket Girl, it's very different. It was the book we wanted to do, right? That's fair to say.
Yes.
What are the options? There's other publishers we could take it to. Image is great. We worked with Image on Halloween Eve, but it's not. Nothing is ever perfect. But it's still hard to do a book like Rocket Girl because so much of comics depends on comic shops. And not all kinds of comic shops do well with A, books that aren't Marvel and DC, right? And
yeah.
B, have a female lead character, etc.
Yeah.
So Kickstarter kind of casts a wider net too, and you have to. It's like people always say, "Oh, we should expand readership." There is a core audience, and that's obviously what supports comics and comic shops, right? But even that, it's great to expand everything. But for a book like Rocket Girl, you really need to go beyond that because it doesn't play to all the strengths of the direct market.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. I was just oh sorry, did you
No,
I was just thinking about how like Heidi MacDonald had this article where she was talking about female readership and stuff.
yeah, I didn't
And
read it recently.
I don't know if it was recently or if somebody just linked to it from something else. Sometimes I get kind of like lost clicking on links, but like or no, maybe it was also something that DC Women Kicking Ass did. Now I'm starting to it was like cross-posted. But they were talking about the female guests. That's right. DC Women Kicking Ass was talking about that, and then they linked to Heidi MacDonald's article where she was talking about the percentage of people reported to be women reading DC Comics. And somehow there was like online evidence and then in-store evidence or something like that. And the online was like 28% or something, or 23%, but then like in-store was like 9%
Right.
or something. And she was like, but it still doesn't explain because like they've reported from New York Comic Con that that the female attendance was 40%. And that's pretty high. So, yeah, I don't know. There's just got to be a way to reach out to female audiences. And
Well, Kickstarter's a way.
Kickstarter is definitely a good way.
Because comics, you have about a third. Every way you cut it, it's always about a third female fans, right?
That seems to
you
be
look,
the
you look on
consistent,
Facebook,
yeah.
and you look on Facebook. You can do some kind of diagnostic, right? And
Yeah.
it's a third female. You can also look at the Kickstarter stuff, and it's about a third female backers, right? And you're right. You go to comic shops, 9%. That sounds about right for DC, right, or whatever the number. Having worked in a comic shop for a long time, that it certainly isn't 10%. Not one in every 10 people walking in your store is a woman, unfortunately, right? So how do you bridge the gap? Even you, who does a lot of female-centric stuff, still has more male readers than female. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's just not it's not part of the distribution system. I'm sure there's certain stores that are better than others, and that's great. And it's not like it's impossible for there to be a store that would have a third female customer base or a 50% female customer base. You know what I mean? You can certainly think about that and say, oh, well, it's possible, but it's just not the reality of the distribution system.
Yeah.
And that's a way that's kind of like not a political way to say it, and not a way that you have to start fighting about it, not, or getting into it. Just like practical business sense. It's like, oh, if you have a book and an audience that's a third female, it's going to be tough to, to distribute that in a system where it's 9%, people walking in the door. And that's not, it's not quite the mathematics to it, but you get the drift.
Yeah. You know what? It just crossed my mind. I've never met a female retailer, like a store owner.
There's plenty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
But plenty meaning 9%, not even, right? But a lot of women who work in stores, obviously.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking of owners. I really don't know a single one.
Well, there are some husband-wife teams to stuff.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of, I want to say the one in Salt Lake City, and I can't think of the name.
Oh,
Night Flight. So I don't know. But and I've
makes me want to open a comic shop, even though I'm terrible at business.
So it's a good idea,
Yeah. So anyway, Kickstarter kind of allows us to try and reach new people and spread the word a bit.
But it's such a slow burn, right? Where you eke a little bit out because you show something to the Kickstarter, you show something during promotion and everything else.
Yeah.
It's hard, right?
And now it's like finally here,
right.
So it's like go out and get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think
is it anticlimactic at all or no?
I'll admit something. Like when you're a comics artist, it's like because my friends were asking me today. I had brunch. I treated myself to some brunch. I've been working really hard, and they were like, "Oh, are you just
Do you think
so
you're better
excited?"
than the average Podcorn listener because you have brunch on a Sunday?
No, I think most people do this stuff, and I'm trying to explain that like it was special. I don't normally
You're
get to
special,
do stuff.
Basically.
I haven't had any days off in a long time.
All right, so the world knows Amy has brunch. That's
What? Who cares?
You
Everybody
obviously
does
care.
brunch.
Everybody does brunch.
Well,
all right.
Whatever.
Okay.
Jeez.
All right, let's do brunch.
It was Filipino brunch. Awesome.
Yeah, Filipino brunch.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, like they were saying, "Oh, are you really excited about it coming out?" And I'm like, I don't know, because it's like a lot of work, you know what I mean? So I kind of have mixed feelings. I'm like nervous about it, but like also when you're a comics artist, everything comes in steps, right? Like you first decide that you're going to do the project and can't tell anybody, and that's when you are the most excited about it, right? Mm-hmm. And you want to tell people and you can't. And it's like, I think at that time you should be making all your announcements and just like pre-writing them
right.
so that you can like save them for when it actually comes out and all that stuff. Because then you get to announce it, but to you it's already old news. And then you gotta like make all of it, and that takes forever, and it's step by step. And so it's
I mean, some of the stuff you do in advance, right? You try to keep it.
You just said doo-doo.
Yeah, you like that.
I don't even know what you're saying now. I'm just remembering the fact that you said doo-doo.
Duty. You do some of that in advance. Say, oh, you can't, you should, but we do. There's some stuff canned and ready to go.
Yeah, it's true.
You want to keep it fresh though too, so you don't do too much.
No,
fresh
actually,
doo-doo.
Fresh doo-doo. No, actually, I was just gonna, after we podcast here, I'm gonna make a list of announcements I should make, because I have like so many things ready to go that I
it's like it worked out so well to tie in Halloween Eve to New York Comic Con last year. So we'll do it again, but I don't know. We'll have to reassess. I mean,
it's hard. It's really
and you feel that the Kickstarter, and there's no really way around it. If you're going to launch a new book on Kickstarter, because it's like, you really should be out promoting the new book 100%, but this week we have New York Comic Con, and before that we have 1,700 envelopes to stuff.
Yeah.
Me having to.
I don't know if we'll get all of them in there, but
no, you understand. You get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of tough to do, but you try to it's fun too. It's nice looking.
Yeah.
It's a fun memory from last year.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
see.
pretty cool. I don't know. I think this time it's gonna go by a lot more smoothly.
Yeah, because I'm in charge.
Well, and we've planned ahead a little better.
Well, experience too.
I think you were in charge last time.
I'm always in charge.
It's just that last time I handled the labels and I made some mistakes, but I was pretty good.
Labels? Did you make mistakes?
Yeah. We almost double shipped a lot of things.
Oh, like an entire category?
Yeah. I can't believe I did that. But yeah, so anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff, and I feel like also, it was another reason to do Kickstarter in our case is that I'm putting like a lot of work in these pages, like, so it's good that we can afford to do that basically,
Well, you have to. That's a podcast for another day where it's like, and this is not, every artist that's working has to choose when they're going to let go of the page. You know what I mean? And there is a legitimate choice is I'm not going to let go until it's 100% the way I want it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the type of people who don't get a lot done, to put it kindly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You are certainly somebody who holds on to it for a long time compared to some others. Now, but that being said, just because you want to let go of it and have it go doesn't mean it's bad. And I'm not even saying that to defend people. I mean, again, it's maybe a subject for a different day, but Frank Miller very famously said, I want my stuff on the shelf, so I'm going to develop a style. Mm-hmm. This was on Sin City, that I can produce so I can have something out every month because that's important to me. And it was Frank Miller. It's not like he was important to pay the rent or to, or to build fame or keep a job or anything like that. He said, no, that's what I want. To me, that's what comics is. And he was never a meticulous draftsman, but he said, no, I have to break my style down to get it out there. Mm-hmm. And do it, and there's different things like Fiona Staples on Saga does everything, right? Except she doesn't letter it. You letter it too, but she's doing all the colors and everything else.
Although I guess it's her handwriting that's all the little like narration, which is pretty cool.
From the baby.
Yeah, I realized that because she has a sketchbook that I got from her, super like exclusive.
Nice.
From a long time ago, and it all has her handwriting.
You should put that on eBay.
I thought about that. I was like, dude, I could actually probably sell this, but she gave it to me, so it seems kind of wrong.
You know that?
Dude!
I guess you don't like her sketches.
Actually, no. I was looking at her sketchbook because I was like, how should I make my sketchbook? I really liked Fiona Staples' sketchbook.
Fiona Apple.
I didn't even think about that. They have similar names.
Yeah, Fiona.
And then Opal.
Yeah, Apple is close to Staples. I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
And she has said in interviews, is what I'm saying. So I'm not trying to, say, I have to learn how to do things and
She makes all the right choices, though. I'm blown away by that. That's the thing. When I try and simplify, I feel like I don't know how to be.
Well, that's it. Do you have to be as good as Frank Miller or Fiona Staples?
I probably.
But there's a lot of people who hold on to it. Barry Smith isn't gonna change things up, or Travis Charest, but do they put out, or Frank Whiteley, who still works and always puts stuff out,
No, there's definitely a balance to be had, and I don't think I am too, clinically crazy about it, but I do have my issues about perfection a little bit that I have to get over here and there. But I would say that my stuff isn't, it's no Travis Charest, perfectionism at all.
Right. You talked about a sketchbook. That's a Kickstarter thing. And that's part of the fun about Kickstarter. We're doing all this different stuff. And that's all coming together, too. I mean, we're waiting on a couple of 100 T-shirts. Mm-hmm. That we met.
They're almost done. By the way.
You give me a live update and letting our listeners in, too.
Yeah, they're almost done. He would have had them all done, but then, the sizes that he ordered, some of them were incorrect.
Okay.
So he's going to get the rest of the shirts on Tuesday and finish it up.
Yeah, well, this is some guy we met in a street fair on 4th Avenue.
Yeah, and he makes good shirts. Brandon got one of them. It says New York City, but in the Coca-Cola logo.
I did.
And he designed it.
I said, Amy, you should talk to this guy about making shirts. and you were like embarrassed. You're never embarrassed by those things.
How am I? Well, you're lying right now because you know that I can be very shy. I'm good at
I don't
things
think
that
of
I'm
you as
familiar
shy.
with, but I don't just come up and talk to people. It's very hard for me.
Yeah, but a traditional New York City street fair, right, where it stretches and there's people selling.
Yeah, they're busy and I'm interrupting him,
Talking business.
I know, but I can't see it that way.
So it's good. It's nice. They're super nice quality.
Yeah.
The stuff he does. I mean, we haven't seen the shirts yet. So
Yeah, fingers crossed.
But yeah, so dealing locally in the extreme, walked down the street from my place because some dude was there selling T-shirts and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
all
cool.
working out.
Well, it's hard to find somebody that'll do a small run. So
Except we're making prints and posters.
yeah, we'll have.
Here's a top secret announcement that we just printed up a ton of glossy 11 by 17 posters of the cover to number 2, which everyone digs.
Yeah, the one that's on the ads of the backs of image books and looks all 80s.
Yeah, with the trade dress, as they say,
Yeah,
the
with
rock girl
the-
logo and everything else.
With the whole, VHS look to it.
So we're gonna have those posters, and literally, it sounds like so small. So you get them while they last, right? Because they're going to be popular.
I hope so.
I think so. With poster, we designed a double-sided mini poster print. It's really print because it's on like a nice cardstock.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so. But then the sketchbook you did a sketchbook all by yourself. So
We got some bookmarks, Halloween-y bookmarks.
bookmarks going out, yeah.
Yeah. And, I don't know. And yeah, that double-sided print's gonna be super
But
nice.
the sketchbook is gonna be there was you did 2. You did like a variant cover just for Kickstarter.
There's a variant cover.
And those were only for people who got Kickstarter, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we printed a few extra, but not a lot of extra of the regular sketchbook, like 100 extra.
Something, maybe 75, was it that I said?
Yeah, we rounded up, so there's gonna be
okay.
a few at New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
That'll be enough for New York Comic Con, but if anyone wants it, shoot Amy an email or something. If we have more
It was
left
my
over.
first sketchbook, so I didn't want to make too many because I'm still
And it's mostly
learning and
Rocket
stuff.
Girl stuff. A lot of people do sketchbooks and they do their commission list, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe down the road.
Yeah. So it's mostly Rocket Girl themed, but then like the last third of it or whatever is like random illustrations
From
and
the
stuff.
sketchbook.
Yeah.
And it's a real sketchbook. A lot of people's sketchbooks are
Yeah, it's not finished work,
commissions. Like finished commission work, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean
This is like
the end of
process.
it has some finished work,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of design work. It's a lot of like doodles. You'll kind of see the weird things I like to doodle in my free time, and but yeah, no, like a lot of explaining on the characters of Rocket Girl, which is kind of cool because we've mostly just talked about the main character, but I really love the other characters. There's this gal Annie that's really awesome, and this guy LaShawn, and
Wait till you see all the characters, in the book when it comes out.
oh, it's so awesome.
Commissioner Jim Gomez being
That's Brandon's fave.
everybody's
He's pretty
favorite.
hilarious.
It's already everybody's favorite, and only 2 people have read the book.
Oh yeah?
No, I mean you and me.
Oh, yeah.
Other people have read the book too.
No, he's pretty. He's a pretty. I think he'll be a hot topic on there.
He's the 13-year-old commissioner
Of New York City,
of New York City. Yeah.
and has a little baby mustache and a
Puberty
cigar.
mustache. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like coming in at the corners.
yeah.
Yeah. Did I make him? Yeah, I said he had to smoke, right?
Mhm.
You gave him big MC Hammer glasses, so
Yep.
yeah, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, and he dresses like Jim Gordon.
You have the best effect on him. He wears a belt, but the belt, he's so skinny.
Yeah.
The belt, the what would you call it? The slack on the belt.
Yeah.
It's like down his knee. I saw that one of the things because it's like it's like that. But he had to nail a couple of extra holes in his belt because it was he's too skinny to wear a belt.
Well, he said that his clothes were too big for him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's got to grow into him, right? So his mom,
Yeah. But he's like totally like he's got so much character. I don't know, like he doesn't shut up for anyone.
Except he smokes and shoots people too. So that's
Yeah.
This is a great book.
It is so good, and this is one
And
concern
the
I
trick
have.
to
Is
writing Jim
hopefully
Gomez
people
is
realize it's not really meant for kids. Like maybe for kids mature, they can handle it, but like that's another obstacle we have. It's not just that it's a female main character. People People for some reason can't get past like this idea that my style plus the fact that it's kid cops means that it's for kids.
So we shopped it around. Like I said, we went to Image, but we got some offers from other places. One place that didn't give us an offer said, "Oh, it's really good, but we just don't do tween stuff."
Yeah, I was so mad when they said that.
Because they didn't read it, but but they also didn't want to. Like they liked more you than me, although I know them also. So they wanted to be like, "Oh yeah, this is great. It's just not for us."
Yeah, that's just
and
their
it's not for us
excuse.
because it's tween. It's like, well, you didn't even read it, so what does that mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't do a lot of talk about a company that doesn't do a lot of girl stuff though.
Yeah.
But
so
that's what. So then, my friend and Amy, Shane Davis, said, "Oh, he said I told him that." He goes, "I guess they didn't read it." I said, "Yep." But,
yeah, Shane gets that it's not for kids.
Well, you read it, but it's going to be pretty cool. But speaking of Shane Davis, this was a heavy-handed segue, but intentional. He did a cover for Rocket Girl.
Yeah,
and it's out there actually. So it's if you look at Multiversity, they're hosting a after party on Friday of Comic-Con, which would be...
I'll have it online by the time this comes out.
It's already online. Oh, we'll have it online.
Yeah, I'll put it up.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Shane's doing the cover, which is going to be the New York Comic-Con exclusive. You can only get it at Image. And they didn't make a lot, only a few hundred I saw. Because usually on the exclusive
really?
they do it. Yeah, because I saw the print run. Usually when there's a store exclusive or something...
It was like 500.
Yeah, but then some of those go other places also.
Oh.
So it's like I said, it'll be a few hundred at the Image booth. I don't know what's going to cost, but it shouldn't be too expensive.
Yeah.
But,
but I colored the cover.
Amy colored
which was
it,
interesting. It's the first time I've ever colored another artist's work professionally.
But it's a cool Shane Davis, and he did a nice composition. If you look at it, she's spinning, so she's upside down. But when you look at the cover, she's right side up, so the background's upside down. So it's kind of cool.
And it's like totally fisheye, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and he did the future because we didn't have any future scenes.
Shane Davis doing future buildings.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
'Cause we haven't done that on a cover yet.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And you can only get that at the Image booth. Inked by Michelle Delecki.
Yes.
Colored by Amy Reeder.
Yes.
I had nothing to do with it, but me, Amy, Michelle Delecki, and Shane Davis all at New York Comic Con as well.
Yeah.
So if you're going, check out.
Get it signed.
And there's a couple of others just to people who wanted to do variants, which is, we were hesitant as whether we're going to do them, but people wanted them, so say, yeah, go for it. So there's a sketch cover by Bill Tucci, Comics World. They're going to be at New York Comic Con also, but they're a Pennsylvania store. And then Dimension X.
Yeah.
Is the name of it, right?
Dimension X. They have a variant of my main cover.
Yeah, they did black and white, and then Amy did a flame effect from the jetpack.
Yeah.
So again, these are all so the only place you can get them are their respective booths at Comic-Con or the two stores you can get them from the store. The Image one, I'm guessing they're only going to have at New York Comic-Con, and then you get it there as long as they last, and then that's it.
Yeah, probably. And we'll be signing at the Image booth and at Dimension X.
Yeah.
And hopefully Comics World.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
Here's something really awesome. I think this should have been the first thing we said, because I think it's really cool. There's going to be a Rocket Girl panel. And it's got some real good real estate, on a Saturday morning-ish, but not too early.
Good real estate in the schedule? That would be timing. That wouldn't be real estate. Real estate would be
I like calling it real estate. It's better sounding.
There is a panel for Rocket Girl. That's right. Saturday, I think 11, something like that. It's it's already been posted, but yeah, Image Comics, but just Rocket Girl. So it's just going to be the two of us.
Yeah. So come, please come.
No, that's cool. Yeah, exactly. We'll be talking about good stuff.
Yeah.
If you come and ask a question, you'll get something cool.
I'm sure we'll have giveaways. Yeah.
So. That's awesome. And we're doing a signing at Forbidden Planet.
Yes, the Wednesday night before, which is when the release of the book is.
7 to 9.
Yeah.
So,
please come.
Yeah, and I think we're doing 4 days of signings at Image, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, all 4.
Wednesday night is Forbidden Planet, 7 to 9. Friday night is a Multiversity Image party, which is open to everybody.
Yes, indeed.
It's at a Houndstooth Pub or something like that. So,
so come.
It's in the 30s on the west side.
Read Rocket Girl and then tell us what you thought.
Yeah, exactly, right? You'll have a couple days even by then.
Yep.
But I'd like to say we're guests of honor, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
because they used our
we're-
image and all that
exactly.
stuff. Yeah, and they have us at the top of the list.
We should try to get some of those flyers because those are pretty cool. Like, I wonder if they're doing print flyers.
That's true. I bet they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I didn't ask Shane. Like, I'm like always so courteous. Like, oh, let me ask and make sure and everything else.
Whether to use his image.
Yeah, because like I said, well, I asked Amy because it's like, well, maybe you don't. Maybe Amy wants her own image on it. And like, no, it's like different. So use
Yeah, and
Shane's.
plus they want to sell their, they're gonna do
Right.
it.
So I said, yeah, okay. And then I said, Shane, oh my god, I hope it's fine. I mean, sure, it'll be fine, but I didn't even ask him. So.
Well.
But yeah, New York Comic
Sure,
Con.
he's fine with it.
It's kind of our reward. It's our treat after a week of Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I can't I'm paralyzed in my fingertips from carpal tunnel, and I've never had this problem before. But literally from bagging and boarding, right, getting stuff.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, I mean it's not good at all. But it's also funny because it's like, you know, people bag and board their comics at home all the time. I do it all the time too. It's like, but when you have to do. When you prep for 1,700 of them, and then all of a sudden you can't move your hand, so it's.
You did all 1,700?
Well, no, I ran out because I got a lot, so.
Okay.
I got, I think 1,200 done, which
Nice.
I think is enough because we have some digital only rewards, and that's the one thing we have to still put together. So, is the PDF
Digital only, yeah.
which is cool, and I think that that we did that on Kickstarter, which is we did. Hey, if you want to get the book, you can get it. And we'll do a deluxe edition, which will have the script and the inks and the colors and everything else. And I think we're going to try to make that available for sale. Obviously online since it's digital only. Maybe through the image thing, maybe through Comixology. We haven't been on the ball on that. I don't know if that'll come out on the release or maybe after.
Okay.
But that's something for people to keep a lookout for. We should actually do like a podcast just on that if it comes out later. We did it for Halloween Eve when it was a print book.
Yes.
And that was super popular. We're actually now like just about sold out of those, and we printed 500 of them, right? So between Kickstarter and people buying them at shows, and this has a lot more because it's digital, so you can do color, you can do all this other stuff.
Yeah, that's why we decided to make it digital. Also to make it kind of available to international
it's
people.
so expensive to ship stuff
it's
internationally.
hard to ship internationally these days. It's
And
getting worse.
Yeah, and it's like I said, and a lot of people who are doing Kickstarters are getting burned on it, unfortunately. I had no idea how much international shipping was. So we have some international bidders, but the shipping's so high, like I said, I don't blame you if you don't want to buy it because you're adding $20, you're adding 10, 15, 25, whatever, to get it. But so that's going to be pretty cool, so be on the lookout for that. Yeah, so New York Comic Con, we're all over the place. Plus we're going to be Artist Alley.
Yes.
D10. With cool stuff, new stuff.
D10 is right in the front.
Right in the front.
Look for us.
Yep.
So, yeah, look forward to it, guys, and I hope to see you next week. We'll be back here next Wednesday telling you some more stuff, and that'll be the day that the book comes out, so, geez,
Get ready.
I don't know, make one of those little, chain link things so you can count off the days till Rocket Girl comes out.
Yeah?
Yep.
Make a advent calendar, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool, like if you had a Christmas book, that's what I would do.
Dude, that should have been one of our rewards, and then it could come out before the book comes out. We'd send an advent calendar, a Rocky Girl advent calendar.
So that's, I think, a sacrilege, but yeah, or blasphemy maybe.
Well, it can't be a sacrilege because it's got Santa on it, not
Does it?
I think.
So special thanks to Chris Robinson.
Yes, thank you so much, Chris. You're the best.
He can be followed at Chris Robinson on Twitter.
Yes. So follow him.
I'm at B. Montclair.
And I'm at Amy Reader.
And people should also check out the Dare to Draw Kickstarter.
Oh, that's right. It's still going on, but not for much longer, probably.
Right? It goes on for another 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, good.
After this podcast comes out.
Yeah.
Dare to Draw, check it out. But the short version is Amy's the past couple times a host and goes, every other, on average every other month.
It's a great event, people from all walks of life, all different ages and stuff go to this. It's People who want to draw
You're
comics.
right. Talk about diversity, right?
Yeah,
you talk
that's
about
what I really like
female.
about it.
You get half of them at least are women.
Yeah.
All of them young.
Uh-huh.
All different kinds of backgrounds. All, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And so, like, I mean, it's a great program. They give, like, out these out of this world types of prizes.
Right, but the basics, once a month.
Once a month. They do figure drawing, they do contests, they have a guest speaker every time.
Yeah, you go to Society of Illustrators, which is cool, in New York City.
The models are partially dressed and have, like, props and do action poses.
It's comics focused,
Yeah.
but it's all life drawing, which is obviously anyone's going to tell you if you draw. That's the thing that you always got to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing prizes. Everyone gets something, right? Like, you know, they're throwing comic markers out. They're throwing, you know, comics around and doing everything.
But yeah, so...
But they have contests for huge prizes also.
Yes, it's really quite insane. And you know, the guy who runs this, Charles D. Chenet, he's like... He's so good in just trying to get, like, different sponsors and stuff. And so now he's really trying to get this Kickstarter rolling for a TV series pilot, because he would like to do sort of like a reality competition series.
Yeah, kind of like an expansion of what they do every month.
Yeah. So
a whole bunch of people draw a whole bunch of things and see who wins. So, which
to me sounds so much cooler than, like, I don't know, like the comic, like who's geekier comic fan. You know, like, wasn't there some kind of reality competition show like that?
I think there was, like, Who Wants to Be a Superhero, and Stan Lee got the...
Well, there was that too, but then there was some sort of, like, I'm nerdier than you. But, like, this is...
Don't be a hater.
I am. I think people should realize that this isn't nerdy, it's just, like, comics are cool, you know, and
check
like,
out Dare to Draw.
Yes, just check it out. It'd be great to
Dare,
see
then
this.
the number 2, then Draw.
Yes.
On the Kickstarter. I'm sure Chris Robinson's putting in a link on the show notes.
Yes, thanks, Chris.
And get ready for the, you know, a big announcement of PODCORN's going to the next level, simultaneous with release of
Rocket Girl. Yeah, we're gonna have our own special website.
Yeah.
So that it'll be a lot easier to access the podcast.
I was about to give out the address,
ones.
but it might not be ready yet, so maybe we should wait. So, you know.
Well, it's in the book as that address, so let's hope it's right.
I'm saying we'll talk about it next podcast.
All right. And also check out fanbros.com, Fearless Future.
Yeah, that's Chris Robinson edits that. Those are all free short stories, 8-pagers.
Yeah.
I like the last one they put out. It was really good. I can't remember the title of it, but it was nice.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much, guys.
See you next week with Rock Girl in hand.
All right. Bye.